February, the city of Alexandria announced major plans to renovate bus benches across the city, including adding more covered shelter stops near shopping areas. However, today many residents noticed that some of the bus benches were being removed at one of the city's busiest intersections. This video is of the intersection at Bolton Avenue and Jackson Street, where 3 ATRANS bus stops are currently located. Throughout the day, city workers were seen replacing the benches with yellow standing poles without a place to sit at the stops. The city administration tells us tonight that recent concerns over trash building up and homeless groups using the benches to sleep led to the bench removal. We asked if more benches would be removed around the city, and we're told that this was all part of a larger plan to make the bus stops safer for those getting on and off the bus. The intersection at Bolton and Jackson will remain an ATRANS bus stop, but will not have any benches or covered shelters.